surpass that today, and I think that's going to be important if they're going to get a win here on the road.
Carlos Hyde, 50 yards away from a 1,000-yard season. And it rained overnight through the night heavily here in Southern California, but the sun is out now. There is a little bit of a breeze. Temperature will get up near 60 and ready to go. The Rams won the toss and deferred. Bouncing inside the 10, Ja'Cory Shepherd up across the 20 and shoved backwards. The 49er offense will take over. Rams wearing those throwback uniforms reminiscent from the early 70s up to 99. The royal blue and gold. Remember, they beat Seattle wearing them in the first game at the Coliseum back this year as the 49er offense takes the field. The last time the 49ers played the Rams here in the Coliseum was 1979. Joe Montana completed his first pass of his Hall of Fame NFL career. As you look at the lineup for San Francisco with Hyde in the backfield. On first down, it is Carlos Hyde across the 30 up near the 35 for a first down.
You know, we've got some changes on this offensive line. Joe Staley, the veteran left tackle, is out. So John Theus, a rookie, number 71, is starting over there, and Zane Beadles, the normal right guard, is back at center where he finished the game last year. Now, this offense is not very complicated. They run the same plays over and over again. We'll see if they're able to maintain that against this very good Rams defense.
Pickup of 14 for Hyde. Kaepernick's throw incomplete and off target. The Ram defense led up front by Pro Bowler Aaron Donald. Last Ram to go to a Pro Bowl his first 3 years of his career. Merlin Olsen in the early 60s, but they've had to do some shuffling in the secondary. Maurice Alexander, LaMarcus Joyner inactive today. Hyde as a receiver, top of your screen on 2nd and 10. Pass is caught. Garrett Selleck has a 49er first down going out of bounds around the 47 of San Francisco.
You know, when I look at this 49ers offense, it is very tight end centric, and they've lost 2 guys. Vance McDonald went to IR. So Garrett Selleck, watch his matchup today. He's going to be on Mark Barron. It'll be on TJ McDonald in the secondary when they play man coverage. He could have a big day today.
Sean Drone in at running back after a 12-yard pickup. Kaepernick throwing high, off target. Curley was open. Curley, the team's leading receiver. Kaepernick, this is his 10th start. Came back to the lineup October 16th. He hasn't won a game. Benched during that loss to Chicago in early December, but then started the next couple of games.
He's been good out of the gate. You know, he's completing 71% or 72% of his passes in the first half of games. Later in the games, though, he's down to like 26. He's got to be able to maintain what he does early in football games.
He's run for over 430 yards and a 7.5-yard average. On 2nd and 10, in the pocket, some time, and hit right away as he caught the football by E.J. Gaines. Harper brought down. Harper is from Inglewood, California.
Well, the Rams play a lot of cover 2, and E.J. Gaines sitting in the flat. Really nice tackle. Kaepernick going through his progressions there, had a guy up the sideline, chose not to take it, took the check down. Now they're in a 3rd and long situation, and this is where the Rams like to get after the quarterback.
Seems like Kaepernick just does not throw the ball downfield very well. See if the Rams do bring that extra pressure around in that you're talking about. They show it. Here they come. Kaepernick is going to go down. It's a sack. Eugene Sims on Kaepernick.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Chris. They bring pressure off both edges, and they have so many guys inside here that get the benefit of TJ McDonald at 38 coming off the other side. See the games up front. There's just nowhere for Colin Kaepernick to step up and get away from the pocket. And Sims comes away with the sack.
So a couple of first downs, and then they stall. Bradley Pinion on to punt to Tavon Austin. Rams have not had a punt return or a kickoff return this year for a touchdown. No fair catch as he gets up across the 22, and a flag comes in on the back end of the play. Our referee is Walt Anderson. 14th season as a referee.
During the return, holding number 32, receiving team, 10-yard penalty, first down Los Angeles, timeout.
Troy Hill called for the infraction, but Jared Goff, his first chance against the team he grew up rooting for.
Game is sponsored by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency.
How about spending Christmas Eve at the beach? You saw snow on the mountains, one of the many things people love about Southern California. From the 13-yard line, Jared Goff leads the offense coming out of the concussion protocol from the Thursday night Thursday night loss up in Seattle. Todd Gurley stops short of the 18-yard line. This is the play, Rondé. He said, look, I got to be smarter about this. I didn't see Richard Sherman coming in. I was just trying to get in the end zone. We wanted to score.
Hey, Richard Sherman came all the way across the field to make that hit. He was playing the other side of the football field and hit Jared Goff. But, yes, he has to be smarter. He is the biggest asset on this football team.
And they got a Wildcat here. They're showing, he said he thought he could have stayed in the game. Tavon Austin with a direct snap and hands it off straight ahead to Todd Gurley. A creative play. It's up near a first down. And Gurley's been a story. Only a 3.2-yard average. Has yet to have a 100-yard rushing game this year.
He hasn't been consistent, Chris, and that's the big thing. You can blame the offensive line for some of those issues, but he's got to be a better runner. I see a lot of times where he's just running up the back of his offensive line. He's got to be able to create his own space and be the dynamic runner that everybody thinks that he is.
Did pick up the first down. Time for Goff, and the coverage was good on Tavon Austin. This Ram offensive line, people blame the line, but they've got some high draft picks, including Greg Robinson, the left tackle, who is inactive and benched today. Tim Barnes at center has been a little bit unhealthy, but one of the mainstays with Roger Saffold on that offensive line.
And Andre Donnell is playing left guard. Jamon Brown goes in at right guard. They had to shuffle it up. They were struggling so bad there that I think John Fossil, the new head coach, or the interim head coach, decided we're going to be aggressive with some of these personnel decisions and see what these other kids can do.
Second down 10. Fighting for some extra yards to the 27 is Todd Gurley. And you mentioned the numbers, Rondé, on this 49er defense that have been historically bad. They prepared during the week really for three different quarterbacks. They didn't know if they'd see Case Keenum. Sean Mannion, by the way, is the backup for the Rams today as Keenum is inactive. And the 49ers have had injury after injury, and linebacker especially.
It's unbelievable. Gerald Hodges was held out last week. He starts today with Will Hoyt in the middle. But it's an active rotation of players. You'll see a lot of bodies play on this San Francisco defense today.
Blitz coming on 3rd and 6. Protected. Goff on target for a first down. Ball is out of the hands of Kenny Britt and goes out of bounds. Catch made. Good enough for the first down.
Well, Kenny Britt's had a fantastic year at wide receiver. Jared Goff has so much trust in him. Great hustle play there to strip that out. I mean, you're beat in man coverage, but Keith Reeser stays with the fight, and look at that perfect execution of the strip from behind. Too bad that ball bounced out of bounds on him.
And that puts Kenny Britt over 1,000-yard receiving season, spotted at the 43, having the best year of his career, a free agent next season. He was a favorite of Jeff Fisher, the former Ram head coach. In motion after a pickup of 15. Goff behind and intercepted. It's a San Francisco takeaway. Tremaine Brock has to be slowed down by Goff at the Ram 20.
Well, this Niners defense doesn't do a good job taking the ball away, but this is a really good play by Tremaine Brock. Playing man-to-man coverage on Kenny Britt, and it's really not a great throw by Jared Goff. If this ball was leading his receiver, it's a completion, but you'll see it come out of his hands. It's a little bit behind, and Tremaine Brock just makes a great interception. They needed a turnover, a takeaway on defense, and setting up their offense in great field position.
Brock's first interception of this season. And Goff having to make sure he didn't advance it further. Spotted at the 17-yard line of the Rams. Goff had the Rams moving. Throw behind. San Francisco responds with the takeaway. And we have a flag down before the ball is even set up. For Goff, that's his 6th interception this year to go with 4 touchdowns.
12 players in an offensive formation. Offense, that's a 5-yard penalty, still first down.
You'll see the guy, watch, running off the field here. A lot of bodies. It just looks like there's too many guys out there. And you see the receiver, Smelter, 18, who just came up off the practice squad. And it's, you know, substitution errors. You got a lot of bodies, new bodies playing for this San Francisco team, and obvious miscommunication among the personnel.
Carlos Hyde down to the 18-yard line, gets a lot of that penalty yardage back, where it will be second down. With the Packers winning earlier today and Atlanta and Washington winning, the Vikings, Saints, and Carolina have been eliminated from playoff competition. Seahawks have won this division, the NFC West, fighting for the 2 seed. 2nd and 11 for Kaepernick. Open in the middle of the field. Carlos Hyde is in for a touchdown, 49ers.
Carlos Hyde comes out of the backfield to make this completion, and really a big hole in the Rams defense here. You see Carlos Hyde right there, and nobody picks him up, and it could have been a natural pick right there on Ogletree. Touchdown 49ers.
Interception of Goff quickly turned into points for Hyde, his 9th touchdown this year, 3rd receiving. Phil Dawson at age 41, who had a missed extra point against the Jets in Atlanta, delivers here. And San Francisco with a 7-0 advantage, their return trip to the LA Coliseum.
Sponsored by Bud Light. Make the right call. Drink responsibly.
After 2.5 inches of rain overnight here at the Coliseum, this field's in remarkable shape thanks to the efforts of the grounds crew. They brought in 400 feet of PVC pipe to drain the middle of the field at the 50 and both 20s. They also laid down turf absorber all along the sidelines to try and soak up some of the excess water because, Chris, the field was covered in the middle but not on the sidelines. A little soggy, but all in all, not too bad.
Thank you very much, Rhonda. You were down on the field beforehand.
Yeah, and late in the year, and you always expect fields to be beat up a little bit. They play college football here during the season. They got that ryegrass, and it looks pretty good. Talking to some of the players, they said they weren't worried about changing their cleats or anything. Much better field, and I think a lot of people expect it with all that rain this week.
Pharoh Cooper is coming out 3 yards deep in the Ram end zone. Pharoh Cooper is loose and gets up across the 44 all the way across the 45-yard line of the Rams. We'll see where they mark it down as the pile shoved him forward. But what a nifty return.
Pharoh Cooper taking over for Benny Cunningham, who went to IR, and this is a great return by Cooper. Young player getting an opportunity. You got to love this. And watch the blocking up front. You see that wedge. He comes right off the butt of those 2 guys, and 38 had a good block, and then it's just the natural talent of the runner. Can't account for that, and they set themselves up with great field position on their second drive here.
4th-round draft pick from South Carolina. Also doubling as a receiver today. A 51-yard return. Remember, the interim head coach, John Fassel, the special teams coach of this Ram team in his 2nd game as the head coach. Gurley maybe a yard. Let's get a game break on this Christmas Eve. Say hi to Carissa Thompson. Carissa.
Thank you, Chris. Merry Christmas. An AFC update for you with under a minute left in overtime. And what was a wild game, Andrew Frank's 27-yard field goal is good, which means Buffalo officially eliminated and Miami clinches a playoff spot with a Broncos loss tomorrow. Chris, Rondé, and Jen.
All right, thank you. Remember, Rams fans saw the Dolphins here, and the Rams dominated that game until the final few minutes, blowing a 10-0 lead. Miami came out of here with a win. Congratulations to the Dolphins going to the playoffs. On 2nd and 9, Goff will keep and get out of bounds. You know, we talk about this rivalry, Rod, and there you go. He's showing a little smarts already, right? Not taking out any tacklers. John Fossil this week went back and studied the history of the Ram 49er rivalry and brought it up to the team during the meetings, whether it was extra motivation or not, just reminding them there's a lot to play for. A lot of the younger players weren't aware of the history of these teams.
Well, they've been playing because they're in the same division, but being back in California, it definitely makes it unique, and you're looking for messaging to your team, and last week it was about togetherness with John Fossil, and this week it was about the rivalry. You got to feed your players. I think he's done a good job of that.
That officially went as a sack, a loss of yardage on 3rd down. Pressure coming. Goff steps up and throws to an open receiver. There's a flag down. Tavon Austin goes down with a 1st down.
Well, this characteristic of Jared Goff, when you talk to the coaches and players, they admire so much his ability to move around in the pocket. He creates some space here for himself.
Illegal hands to the face, number 33, defense. That penalty has declined. The result of the play is a completed pass for a 1st down.
So they'll take the 15 yards and a 1st down at the 39-yard line.
Well, one thing that you want to do with the young quarterback is blitz him, but Jared Goff, I think he does a really good job of this. Look how he steps up, keeping this play alive, and most importantly there, keeping his eyes downfield, looking for an available option. He picks up a nice 1st down.
Todd Gurley, maybe to the 35. Jared Goff at 6'4", and they wanted him before he got his chance to start, which his first NFL start came against the Dolphins, was to put on a little more bulk and meat.
Well, there's a lot of things that a young quarterback needed to do, but again, I'm impressed with those things about him as a quarterback. And he's tough. That shows some toughness there. Obviously, he has the big arm that we've already talked about. Just got to find consistency, and really, Chris, that just comes from reps.
Goff to Gurley, who's hit right away. It'll bring up 3rd down. Antoine Bethea, the 49ers leading tackler, making sure that Gurley couldn't run with it. Need to get to the 29 for a 1st down. They'll be short by a couple of yards here. Just over 6 minutes to play in the opening quarter. Goff trying to respond to the interception. Now 3rd and 2.
He strikes me as a kid that doesn't falter with interceptions. He lets it go, gets right back on the field. He's not shaky. This kid knows what he can do as a quarterback.
4 wide receivers in. Empty backfield. Blitz. Pass is low, and they're saying incomplete. Tavon Austin had a shot at it. Harold was coming in on Goff, who had to get rid of it.
Well, the shot was on Jared Goff. Watch Eli Harold unblocked off the edge. Got to get the ball out of his hands quicker, make a more accurate throw. But Jim O'Neill, the defensive coordinator in San Francisco, told me right before this game that you have to pressure this guy. He is less accurate when you bring more than 5 or 6 guys in on him.
John Fossil said, we want to be aggressive, and on 4th and 1, they're going for it from the 30. They have a very good place kicker in Greg Zuerlein, but trailing 7-0. Interesting that they threw on 3rd and 2. It's really closer to 2 yards than a yard and a half. Guess they're just trying to draw him off. Nope. Pass complete for a 1st down and a lot more. Lance Kendricks out of bounds inside the 10.
Well, you throw it on 3rd down with the idea that you're going for it on 4th down. And yes, Chris, John told us yesterday that we are going to be aggressive. And really, it's about establishing an attitude for your offensive team. And this is just little play action. 49ers bite up thinking it's going to be a run, leaves Kendricks wide open in the flat, and this is how you do it. Get the ball out of your hands quick. Your receiver is there. Big first down, and the crowd here loves it.
24-yard pickup spotted at the 6-yard line where it's 1st and goal Rams. Todd Gurley. Sun shining here in Los Angeles at the Coliseum with a number of 49er and Ram fans on hand on this Christmas Eve to take in an NFL game.
Yeah, this offense only has 20 touchdowns on the year. This is a big moment, I think, early in this football game. Got to establish your attitude for the day. Just talked about it. I'd turn around, hand this ball off to Todd Gurley, set that tone right now.
Second and goal. Gurley is in for a Los Angeles Ram touchdown.
Really good block by Kendricks to seal the edge here. This was a nice run by Todd Gurley, finding some space here because really didn't look like there was much going on here. But I want you to watch 88 right here. Watch him seal the edge of this defense right there. And that's exactly where Todd Gurley cuts back up inside. Touchdown Rams.
And for Gurley, 6th touchdown of this season. Clearly across, and the extra point, Greg Zuerlein, 20 of 20 this year from the 33-yard line. The 49ers look like somebody jumped. The kick is good.
And this is just going to be on the end of the line of scrimmage there in that neutral zone, and they'll probably take this on the ensuing kickoff.
Offside, number 33, defense. That 5-yard penalty will be enforced on the kickoff. The try is good. Timeout.
Rashard Robinson called for the penalty. You know, you could have taken that advancement and maybe gone for 2. Instead, it'll be on the kickoff. But Todd Gurley has tied things with the Rams and 49ers.
Today's game is sponsored by Chevrolet. More 2016 J.D. Power Dependability Awards than any other brand.
42-year-old John Fossil, 12th season coaching in the NFL, 5th with the Rams as special teams coordinator. Has done a great job with this Rams team, but elevated really with 3 days to go as head coach before the Seattle game. Ja'Cory Shepherd will down it. Had a little bit more time to prepare for this game and this rivalry that began back in the 50s. Kezar Stadium in San Francisco, Rams 49ers. Rams would win that one 35-14. Guys like Waterfield, Van Broeckel, that go on to dominate the decade, winning 8 of the first 12 games in the 50s. But it's been a seesaw rivalry. The Rams won 10 straight at one time during, and then the 49ers won 17 straight in the head-to-head competition.
I love those old pictures. Black and white.
I love those old Ram uniforms with the blue and white.
Yeah, it's back when you were growing up. That's when you were a kid, right?
Well, I don't know how far back. I wasn't there in the 50s, but I was around. Kaepernick's throw to Sean Drone on first down, who gets up across the 32-yard line.
You know, this offense can be very multiple in this way. You see a lot of movement out of the backfield. Get the ball in the hands of your playmakers. And if you're not asking Colin Kaepernick to throw the ball down the field, Chris, you mentioned it earlier in the game, he struggles, you know, throwing it past really 15 yards. But these short intermediate throws, I think he's really good at. I think they got to keep that going.
For an 8-yard pickup, Carlos Hyde will get the first down. Aaron Donald, as he kind of bulled his way across that 35-yard line. Well, the early tone for these two teams, and I know the records tell the story. They're disappointed But at least with Carlos Hyde getting into the end zone and Todd Gurley, those are franchise backs a team, an organization can build on.
You're absolutely right. Both of those guys. And I know Carlos Hyde has dealt with injury, but he is a special runner. I mean, every time I watch him play, I'm more and more impressed with him. And 50 yards to 1,000, I mean, that'll be a benchmark for this team that's not played well at all this season.
Down to 30 yards because he's got 20, including the touchdown catch today. Kaepernick, who's been sacked once with an overthrow, and he's intercepted by Cody Davis. Cody Davis down to the 31 of San Francisco.
Well, this is what I'm talking about. When Colin Kaepernick has to step up and throw the ball down the field, he is not very accurate. I mean, he overthrows his receiver here by about 10 yards. And see, they're playing man-to-man defense. He's got Selleck on T.J. McDonald. And right there, if that ball has any kind of accuracy on it, it may be a contested completion, but he overthrows him so bad. Cody Davis is right in the right spot, and it's a takeaway for the Rams defense.
Rams wish they had been doing more of that through the year. A team built through high draft picks, defense their forte, and in certain games they haven't been able to hold up, but an early takeaway as Malcolm Brown comes in at running back from the 30 for Jared Goff. Inside handoff, Tavon Austin, who's got a block. Austin, and into the end zone for a touchdown, LA Rams.
All you have to do is put the film on, and you know this play is coming. And this 49er defense struggling all year in the running game. It's really because of angles and run lanes. And you're going to see Jaquiski Tartt come into your screen. He's right here at the bottom of your screen. Watch how he leverages this block when Tavon Austin comes on him. And he was the guy. He was the mistake. If he turns that ball back, it goes to his partners on defense, but instead Tavon Austin with that great speed and explosiveness gets a second touchdown for LA.
His fourth touchdown of the season, the 8th overall pick back in 2013. That's the longest Ram run of this season, a run of 30 yards, as the extra point is good. The Rams, after a takeaway, take it in and have a 14-7 lead over the Niners. John Fossil, who talked to us, Rondé, about the mentality of special teams, where he said it's a lot of brawn and not as much brains. And he wants to bring that mix to the entire focus of this Rams
team.
How
good have their special teams been since he's been here? Well, he was a great special teams coach when he was with the Oakland Raiders as well. So, yeah, that mentality, that special teams mentality is a different type of animal. These guys run down the field, hit people full speed, and if you can get that to permeate through your entire team and your organization, and we've seen more energy in this first quarter than we've seen out of the Rams in a long time.
Ja'Cory Shepherd will bring this out of the end zone. And special teams play stops short of the 22-yard line. That's unique on Christmas Eve to have the Rams 49ers playing here. So a festive atmosphere. Let's talk about Goff, how he responded so quickly to throwing an early interception. His team behind. Now they have the lead.
Oh, he has a lot of moxie, the kid. I love talking to the guy. He's so confident. And you can tell that he's growing into his leadership role. And that's one thing that I think this team lacks, or has lacked all season, is true leadership. And when he stepped in, really kind of assumed that in the last 6 games now, you can see the mentality of the team change. And I think he's definitely somebody you could build a franchise around. They got to find ways to protect him. I think they're well on their way.
He is California cool. His defense helped set him up last time on the Austin touchdown run. Drone carries. Let's get another game break. Check in with Carissa Thompson.
Thanks, Chris. David Johnson, he's been great all year long. No difference here. 2-yard run for him. He leads the NFL with 18 total touchdowns. Now, the Hawks, of course, clinched the NFC West, but still looking for a first-round bye. Cardinals up 7-0 in this one. Chris, Rondé, and Jen.
I thank you. It really is terrific the way the NFL matches up these divisional rivalries, head-to-head meetings late in the year. As Kaepernick is going to go down, there's a flag down in the backfield. Ethan Westbrook's got credit for the sack.
holding number 65 offense. That penalty has declined. It's third down.
I don't think anybody's more happy than Ethan Westbrook that this penalty got declined. He gets to keep his sack, but he's working on Dominic Easley here, and that's a hold. And good job by this front. They've always been energetic in the rush game. They haven't been as productive this year, but they got some real good bodies up front to get after the quarterback. Starting with number 99, Aaron Donald. Let's keep an eye on him right here.
Third down and 8. Kaepernick on the run, throwing on the run, just across the 30-yard line to Rod Streeter. Let's see how close. Streeter seemed to be aware of the first down marker.
And I think he did get it. This is what an athletic Colin Kaepernick type of quarterback can give you. I mean, he was under pressure by Westbrook again. Aaron Donald was in his face, but really nice throw on the run by the quarterback.
They needed 8, and they're checking his hand. They're already thin at receiver. Torrey Smith inactive with a back injury. On injured reserve, Quentin Patton as well. They're going to bring out the chains. Now, Aaron Burbridge is up active, although there have been some health issues there.
We mentioned earlier in the game DeAndre Smelter, who was a 4th-round pick last year, who was on the non-football injury list last season, is on the practice squad. He'll get some reps today, but yeah, I mean, you look at, it's a mash unit of bodies at this receiver position. Haven't been very productive. They haven't been great holding on to the football. They got to make some plays here in this day, and Streeter getting an opportunity with Torrey Smith on IR, getting his hand taped up there on the sideline.
He saw the measurement, good enough for the first down, so a clutch third down conversion for the 49ers from their own 31-yard line. Carlos Hyde into a crowd.
Just tough to run through the middle of this Rams defense. It starts with Aaron Donald, of course, but you have Michael Brockers in there, who's a big kind of unheralded defensive tackle, just eats up space, and you're trying to run through the tackles. It's tough sledding, and I think they're better on the edge with Carlos Hyde in that read option.
That Ram defensive line, Robert Quinn, is on the injured reserve list, but you do have first-rounders like Brockers and Donald. After a 2-yard pickup by Hyde. Floats a pass out to Carlos Hyde, and they bring up third down. He gets to the 37-yard line. Blake Countess making the tackle as the first quarter winds down. A Hyde touchdown, a Gurley touchdown, and then after an interception, Tavon Austin on a 30-yard run. This holiday season, the Rams with a 14-7 lead after one quarter at the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum. Well, and I think Ram fans have a wish of their own, beginning the second quarter here in sunny Southern California with Rondé Barber, Jen Hale on the field. I'm Chris Myers. Glad to have you watching with us. 21 points in the opening quarter for these two teams. That's a story. Sean Drone is the running back on third down. Kaepernick open for a first down. Up to midfield, Garrett Selleck.
Well, there's the matchup that I'm going to be paying attention to all day. Garrett Selleck, TJ McDonald, they get in these third down situations. The Rams like the blitz and play man-to-man behind it. And Garrett Selleck has to win for his quarterback, and he did just there.
Blake Bell and Vance McDonald injured at that tight end position. Jim Dre is active. They picked him up this week behind Jerron Ham. Carlos Hyde inching closer to that 1,000-yard mark. Well, Hyde was a guy who, and is now his third year, second-round pick from Ohio State. Huge game a couple of weeks ago against the Jets. He had almost 200 yards. Sixth best total in 49er history at 193 yards. And now two running backs with Hyde and Drone on 2nd and 7. And it's Drone straight ahead. It'll bring a third down. 49ers need to get to the 40 to pick up a first down. Ogletree making the defensive play for the Rams. Ogletree, the locker room leader of this Ram team, not just on defense, but overall.
Yeah, really vocally he is. And talk about his tackles. He leads his team in tackles. He's an impact player. I always expect big plays from him. Big third down here for the Rams defense. See if they can get off the field.
Kaepernick from the pocket is going to go down. That's another sack for the Rams, their third of the game. And for Dominic Easley, he's got 3.5 for the year.
Well, you mentioned all those first-round draft picks of the Rams. He was a first-round draft pick of the New England Patriots and got cut 2 years ago, comes here, and that is a great move. On the guard, gets Colin Kaepernick standing, looking downfield. Nice play by the Rams defense.
Tavon Austin, who had the touchdown to give the Rams the lead on a run, back to receive. Kenyon gets rid of it. There's a bit of a breeze. He tracks it down around the 17-yard line. Fair catch for the Rams. The Ram defense setting the tone, protecting a 7-point lead.
It is sponsored by the all-new 2017 Ford Super Duty. This is the next level.
The Rams with a couple of touchdowns in the opening quarter already. In their previous 7 games, they only had 2 touchdowns. This offense clicking. That 30-yard run by Tavon Austin for the touchdown, the longest run by the Rams this year. On first down from the 18. It's Todd Gurley who's shoved backwards. Chris Jones coming up to make the play. The Rams aware that this 49er defense giving up 176 yards on the ground per game. That's the most in the league.
Oh, it's amazing. I mean, they've lost so many bodies. Middle linebacker, inside linebacker, I should say, especially. You lose those kind of players, it's amazing they're not giving up more yards.
Goff to Gurley. It'll be 3rd and short. Gurley just not running with the same kind of, whether it's a run or a catch, the same kind of burst or power that he showed last year when he was the offensive rookie of the year. Kenny Britt being helped over on the sideline.
Well, he's a guy you can't afford to lose. I mean, you got Brian Quick who can step in and play that X receiver for them, but could be more opportunity now for Tavon Austin.
Just did get the first down at the 28. Paul McRoberts comes in for Kenny Britt, who will check on his injury. McRoberts up from the practice squad. 49ers show blitz, and they're in as Chris Jones has the play on Gurley. Looks like they knew it was coming.
Well, he's just in this team a couple of weeks ago, and see the pressure coming. The center, Barnes, goes away from it and just explodes into the backfield. And, you know, talking a little bit about these injuries for the 49ers, it really has limited what they're able to do, what types of defenses they can call. So they play a lot of man, and they bring a lot of pressure trying to ease up some of those coverage calls on the back end.
Jones, who was with the Dolphins, signed and added to this 49er roster from Bowling Green State. After a loss of 5, Goff is going to keep and get knocked down up around the 28-yard line of the Rams. Let's check in on the Bucs and Saints with Carissa.
Thanks, Chris. We head to New Orleans. Bucs down 7-0 when Jameis Winston finds Cameron Brate for this 12-yard strike. Bucs need a win to keep their divisional hopes alive. We're all tied up at 7. Chris, Rade, and Jen.
Thanks, Carissa. And Kenny Britt comes back into the game. As we said, the Rams' top receiver and going over the 1,000-yard mark in receiving yards.
Fantastic year, Kenny Britt. Just watch how he uses his body to catch the football. He's up there on Rashard Robertson, who I think could be a good corner for this 49ers defense.
Robinson, the rookie. Tavon Austin through his hands. Had Goff knocked down on 4th down.
Yeah, he takes another big hit. Aaron Lynch And really good job by Lynch not driving him to the ground. That would have been a penalty. Lets him go. But another stop for this 49er defense. And I got to tell you, they sometimes have underachieved, but you give them enough pressure, these guys can look good at times.
There's the Pro Bowler, Johnny Hekker, in his 5th year with the Rams. Going to his 3rd Pro Bowl, announced this week, and well-deserved. His first punt of this game, Jeremy Curley inside the 25-yard line. Dancing around and gets up across the 37. There's a flag down.
I think there's going to be 2 flags here. The first one is a hold on the gunner on the outside. See the ref out there without his hat on. That's indication that he was trying to throw another flag.
Sorting this out, and it looks like there are dual penalties.
First-time head coach, you got to make these decisions all of a sudden.
He has some help, Ronnie, with, he's got some guys, Dave McGinnis, Greg Williams, even Mike Singletary, part of this Rams staff, that have been head coaches in the NFL.
Yeah, he said it was really an honor that they chose him to be the interim head coach because of all that experience from those other guys.
Holding number 30 receiving team. That's a 10-yard penalty that will be enforced from the spot of the foul. It'll be first down. Timeout.
1 penalty assessed. It'll back up the 49ers 10 yards. And they'll take over on offense, trailing by 7 after a terrific punt from Johnny Hekker. Chip Kelly said, we're not an overly talented team, so we have to do the little things right.
Oh, the margin of error is so small for this football team. Any little
miscue.
Number 38 of the receiving team. That is the penalty that's accepted. 10 yards, first down, San Francisco.
Yeah, sorry about
That's right,
trying to finish that thought. Walt was cleaning up that penalty for us. But yes, the margin of error is so small for this team. So any kind of little mistakes, these type of penalties just hurt this team. They can't overcome them. And they're the least penalized team in the league, but they have some very inopportune timing with some of them.
Yeah, so this puts them back at the 14-yard line. The field position changed entirely by the Hekker punt and then the penalty. Kaepernick on first down is going to run and be thrown down around the 17-yard line. Give Eugene Sims credit for tracking him down.
Well, just nowhere for him to make a decision. I mean, he had his tight end wide open on the 20-yard line there, but he just doesn't pull the trigger, and it gives this defensive line, this really aggressive, fast defensive line, time to track him down and tackle him for a short gain.
Pickup of 3. Shoved backwards. Rams figure that he's the one guy that can beat him, the playmaker. Give Hayes and Cam Thomas the tackle.
Man, Cam Thomas and Michael Brockers, sorry, this is him right here, but just watch the penetration here. Great tackle, big, love big, enormous defensive tackles inside. It's, again, impossible to run inside on these guys.
Only 84 yards of total offense for San Francisco so far today. Third and 7. Here comes the blitz. Kaepernick dropped. Streeter.
And those are the little things, Chris, as you talk about. Margin of error right there. You know, some of the problems in this passing game with Colin Kaepernick is not necessarily his fault. His receivers have to hold on to the football. It's an over and over again type of issue with this football team. And They are now forced to punt from a backed up situation, almost guaranteeing good field position for the Rams offense.
Kaepernick 7 of 11 with a touchdown and a pick. Pinion ready to punt for the 3rd time today. Tavon Austin standing back inside the 35 of the Rams. Waving everybody off. It drops short, bounces, and he'll grab it. And he'll go down inside the 35. Kick coverage good by the 49ers. Rams back on offense with a 14-7 lead. Ram fans happy with the present their defense is giving them today, putting the pressure on Colin Kaepernick.
Yeah, they came in with only 26 sacks. They're getting after him today. They also had a turnover or takeaway of Colin Kaepernick and giving great field position again to their young quarterback, Jared Goff. See if they can get this running game going here with Todd Gurley.
Touchdowns from Gurley and Austin from the 34-yard line. Goff, protection. Has to dump it off to Tyler Higbee.
He wanted to take a shot down the field there to Kenny Britt, Tavon Austin. Both guys were covered up well. But again, you see some of the playmaking ability of Jared Goff right there. Stepping up in the pocket. Again, always looking for an outlet. And that play should have been for nothing. And finds a way to get 3 yards out of it.
Notice the number 16. We mentioned that Goff raised in Nevada, California. Marin County, went to Marin Catholic. And too young to remember watching Joe Montana, but got a sweatshirt as a kid from his dad. Malcolm Brown carries, knocked down short of the 40. His dad, Jerry, who played in Major League Baseball as a catcher with the Astros, Expos, and Pirates. But his dad, a 49er fan. He grew up a 49er fan. That's the 16, and that's what Goff wanted to wear. As we mentioned, Montana's first pass thrown here at the L.A. Memorial Coliseum. So it all comes back around. It's funny, even when we were chatting with Jared Goff after Friday's practice, at one point he said we, and he got mixed up with the 49ers, right?
Which team he was rooting for, yeah.
No question who he's rooting for today, and that's the 14-7 Ram lead. Malcolm Brown remains the running back. Kind of a downhill, straight ahead, tough guy. Pass incomplete for Tavon Austin.
This was a bad throw, but all really Tremaine Brock has to do is open his eyes here. He's going to score a touchdown. They got a little trap coverage going on over there, and Jared Goff misread it, tried to throw it to Tavon Austin, and man.
You could see the reaction from the other 49er players over there about what was going on there. It looked like some kind of mix-up on both sides. Hecker, can he change the field position again with Curley back? Fair catch called for right around the 14. That's where they left us, and an NFL record for punts inside the 20. Outstanding performance by Hecker. What's your thoughts on how a kicker like him can be such an influence as we return in 30 seconds? Johnny Hecker's punt put the 49ers back down at the 14.
Well, guy could change field position, and for a guy that punts as many times that he does, to have the yardage numbers and just the inside the 20 percentage is amazing. You talk about MVPs of this Rams football team, it's that guy, no question.
Quarterback in high school and on fakes, as you saw in that Thursday night game. He misfired there, but he has thrown 11 passes from that punter's position. Meanwhile, Carlos Hyde gets across the 20-yard line. It'll bring up third down for the 49ers. Took advantage of an early Goff interception. Hyde caught a touchdown pass. Now 3rd and 3. They haven't scored since.
Well, they haven't been able to convert on third down. And this is one of the worst third down teams in football. I think only made worse by the Rams.
Drone in the backfield with Hyde. Have not seen a lot of DeJuan Harris. Mike Davis is inactive for this 49er offense. Kaepernick, and caught by Aaron Burbridge, rookie from Michigan State.
We talked about them being down receivers. Burbridge is the veteran of the group. This is a good throw. Blake Countess playing for LaMarcus Joyner in coverage. But you're going to play some man-to-man. You need your receivers to win on the outside. 13 does it right there. They pick up the first down.
What do you think of this high drone backfield combo?
This is new. I have not seen this on film from these guys.
Drone to receive after they fake to hide, and it's a good pickup on first down, getting across the 42-yard line.
But what it gives you is the ability to not only run that read option, but you got some triple option type plays that you could call. And every time we've seen it, he's been splitting out of the backfield. Now, Chris, what I've noticed today, when they've gotten in a rhythm, they haven't been able to use that up-tempo type of offense all year. It's showing up here today.
After a pickup of 9, Hyde for the first down near the 48 of San Francisco.
When you talk about a Chip Kelly offense, it is very simple. There's not many plays in the repertoire, but when you can play fast, you get put the defense under stress, and that's exactly what they got going right now against this Rams defense.
Kaepernick's throw to Curley. Here comes a flag. Coverage was tight. Blake Countess right there with Jeremy Curley.
Be interesting to see if they call this pass interference because he was going for the ball.
Pass interference, number 24, defense. First down, spot on the foul.
So now Blake Countess has a right to this football. He's right here. Just a slant route. He reads it. He's looking at the ball too, trying to get it. I'm not sure if I would have called that pass interference. As it stands, first down 49ers. And yes, I am biased. I'm an ex-DB.
Spoken as a former defensive back. We understand. Blake Countess, the rookie free agent from Auburn, getting some work, and the 49ers seem to be challenging him today. Hand off to Drone. He gets to the Ram 45-yard line. Just over 3 minutes to play here in the first half. Chip Kelly said, I just want the two things we know we can control from the players, attitude and effort. He said he has gotten that throughout the year.
Well, the effort has been there. You know, you talk about the lack of talent. That's part of the reason they've struggled. The team is not quitting on this football coach.
Kaepernick on the run. Slides around the 42, and it'll bring up third down. William Hayes was chasing him.
You know, one of the things that you always have to be cognizant of when you're playing Colin Kaepernick is setting the edge of your defense, and William Hayes comes in almost unobstructed there, but nobody sets the side on the other side, so there's a place for him to escape. As it stands, 3rd and 6 for the San Francisco 49ers. See what they got playing here. Bunch formation at the top. Look for a spacing type route up there.
Got a safety of the Rams all the way back at the 21-yard line. Third down at 6. Kaepernick caught, but not a first down. Knocked down with his helmet off, Aaron Burbridge. And E.J. Gaines with the hit.
Well, this is a good play by E.J. Gaines here because playing man-to-man coverage, they're getting that bunch. But a really nice tackle by the Rams and set up a 4th down.
We've reached the 2-minute warning. The Rams lead by 7. You can follow your favorite team all season long. Go to itunes.com/NFL. On 4th down, Pinion back to punt. Tavon Austin waiting inside the Ram 10. This is one where Pinion's going to try and pin the Rams inside the 10. Does not want it. Carrying into the end zone. Let's see. Austin lets it go, bounces once, and it does go into the end zone. Unfortunate for the 49ers. That's a plus for the Rams. We've been talking about this rivalry. If you go back to the 70s, that's when the Rams took control. They won 17 of 20 games head-to-head with the 49ers, including 10 in a row at one point. Love those old Ram uniforms. Rams also won every game up in San Francisco, going a perfect 10-0. They won 7 NFC West titles in the 70s and appeared in the Super Bowl against the Steelers. The great Vince Ferragamo. Ray Malavasi, the head coach, led that Ram team. And that was a record for consecutive division titles until the Patriots won their 8th straight in the AFC East this year. From the 20-yard line, Todd Gurley. Big hole for Gurley. And up to the 30. And good enough for the first down.
First time we've seen Todd Gurley really get a good run here. Nice block by Havenstein to give him some space there. At the line, going fast themselves.
He's coming.
Gurley again. Rams have all 3 of their timeouts, as do the 49ers at the 120 mark and counting.
Interesting that they choose to run the ball 2 times at the beginning of a 2-minute situation here. Usually you see that hurry up, try to get the ball down the field, get yourself in a scoring position, but choosing to be a little patient here.
We hope to talk with Jake Glazer from the NFL on Fox pregame show in the second half about the Rams head coaching search and the security of Chip Kelly, who told us he's not going anywhere if it's up to him. Pass is caught, but short of the first down by Kendricks at the 39. And we'll have a timeout. Talk about playoff scenarios. Let's see what's going on with all that.
We've got a gift for you coming up on the Visa Halftime as Andrew Luck and Derek Carr have a Christmas Eve showdown in Oakland. The Browns receive a big gift with their first win of the year. And the Dolphins, well, they get an overtime Christmas miracle in Buffalo. It's wrapped up for you on the Visa Halftime.
Gonna need more snow, Kurt.
You know we're in L.A., right?
Oh, you're right.
Well, anytime you get a festive Terry, keep Terry away from the eggnog, okay? Whatever. I think he has it every Sunday morning, whether it's Christmas season or not.
He's entertaining.
We kid. We care. 3rd down and 2 for the Rams.
Everybody cares, Chris.
Yes, that's right. We all. San Francisco used that timeout. They'll have 2 remaining, so they're hoping to force the Rams into a punting situation, and they get the ball back. Rams, if they can advance the ball here in the next 49 seconds, might get a shot at a field goal. Four-man rush. Goff batted away and incomplete. A good surge by that 49er defensive line.
DeForest Buckner. This guy's had a great rookie season now. You match him up against a lot of defensive linemen in this league, and I know he's played a bunch of snaps for these guys, but he is an impactful football player for this Niners defense. Definitely, you talk about building on young talent, he is definitely the guy that they're looking at for that.
From Oregon, where Jared Goff said he saw enough of him playing in the Pac-12 when he was at Cal, and they clashed. Advantage Buckner there, forcing Hecker with 45 seconds to punt to Jeremy Curley. Fair catch waved for down around the 12-yard line. 14-7 as we get near the end of the first half, and with Rondé Barber, Chris Myers, glad to have you watch. You know, I thought, just like Ram 49er fans, this game might be the nightmare before Christmas, given the record of the way the teams have been playing. But it's a pretty good ball game here for a rivalry game and division opponents.
Nice Tim Burton reference. I like that. No, it's been much more than we expected, especially to start this football game. I love the way that the Rams started this game aggressive, but you can see that they've dialed it back a little bit on offense, playing a little bit more cautious. Now, the 49ers have an opportunity here to go down and steal some points. We'll see if Colin Kaepernick can get a drive here with 40 seconds, or just a little under 40 seconds left in this half.
And 2 timeouts. But you got to be careful down here if you're the 49ers, as Drone runs with the football.
Yeah, you're looking for one big explosive play and maybe to get things going, but short run on first down probably changes your mindset here a little.
Yeah, the Rams use the timeout now, Ronnie, so the game has shifted even with 32 seconds. Can always try to stop them and get a free kick. Rams will receive the ball to start the second half. 49ers will be kicking off to start the third quarter.
Well, I know one thing, and we're up in the booth, can't really tell, but it feels like the weather conditions have significantly changed down on the football field. You don't see any sun now, and I feel a little breeze. So maybe John Fossil, the consummate special teams thinker, is thinking field position here, get the ball back real quick, and maybe try a long field goal at the end of the half.
2 timeouts for each from the 15. Rams show blitz, and they back off. Drone carries. William Hayes brings him down. Timeout used again by the Rams. They'll have 1 remaining. And a 3rd down for San Francisco. Well, the Ram history, it's back in Los Angeles. In 1948, running back Fred Gerke, he decided to design a logo for the Rams. He hand-painted 75 helmets at $1 a helmet. And the Rams, the first professional football team to have a logo on their helmets. And they debuted during a preseason game in the late 40s. A standing ovation from the Coliseum crowd. And Gerke played for the 49ers for a season as well.
How much did he get paid for those helmets, Chris?
Just that $1 a helmet. So that's minimum wage. Things have changed. He also invented the face mask, which is an important element to today's rough and tough NFL. Sean Drone should get a timeout here. Did he get the first down or not? Let's see where that would change the Rams' perspective. Because it's, they're pointing. Why are they pointing forward? Because it looked where they spotted it, he didn't get the first down. Now they might need to put more time back on that clock if that's.
Either way, even if this isn't short.
Well, you are allowed a free kick. It's fourth down here if he obviously doesn't get the first down. So the Fossil's going to want them to have to punt the ball, whether he puts a block on or a return. You got Tavon Austin. Of course, that changes everything. Let's see. It is fourth down. That's why that line is not official. It's just superimposed to give you a gauge of where the first down marker is. So Chip Kelly disappointed. And let's see how the Rams special teams play it here. Bradley Pinion will just try and get it out of here. And they are going to put more time on the clock.
A good observation there, Chris. Yeah, again, this is a good opportunity for Tavon Austin to change field position. I mean, really, with the leg of their kicker, Greg Zuerlein, all you got to do is get around the 50. I wouldn't be surprised if they try to take a long shot at a field goal to end this half.
And as you pointed out, with the bit of the breeze and the wind gust, not sure which direction, but why not try it right before the half? Zuerlein's got the leg for 60 plus. Austin, no fair catch, and gets out of bounds with 4 seconds remaining. Next Sunday, she's inappropriate but in charge. TV's most outrageous new comedy on Fox. Caitlin Olsen is their guardian, but she's no angel. The Mick premieres next Sunday after football on Fox.
Well, they're going to put their offense on the field. I think really if Tavon Austin would have got maybe 10 more yards there, they would have tried that long field goal, but they're going to kneel on it and go into the half with the 14-7 lead here.
Zuerlein has made from 54 yards this year. He does have a very strong leg that in practice has hit from 60, but they'll be glad to go to the half with a 7-point advantage. Couple of touchdowns from the Ram offense. Halftime at the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum. Coming up, the Visa halftime report. 49er Ram rivalry continues as they come out through the tunnel here at the LA Coliseum. Wonder if there was a gift exchange. Today's first half moments brought to you by Febreze, and it was a turnover touchdown interception for San Francisco Goff, and then Carlos Hyde on the pass into the end zone. Rams with a takeaway from Kaepernick. Tavon Austin with a touchdown run. Todd Gurley also a score, and those are today's first half moments brought to you by Febreze. Rondé Barber, Chris Myers again, extending some happy holiday wishes to all of you and your family and our crew, working hard away from their families to bring you to this game. What do you expect in the second half? Rams will get the football to start.
Well, got to score some more points here. What started off as a great game, really, in that first quarter. We thought we were going to have a Christmas bouquet of scores, but so far in the second quarter, things started to slow down. I need to see more out of this running game out of both teams. And we came in talking about Carlos Hyde exploding onto the scene and about Todd Gurley being able to run against this bad 49ers run defense. None of that's materialized, and it'll be interesting to see if those problems that persisted for both of these teams in the second half of games continues or if they're able to overcome them here.
Jared Goff, this is 6th start. Chip Kelly, as Cam Inman wrote, one of the writers in the Bay Area, talking about can the 49ers win one for the Chipper, trying to end a 13-game losing skid after winning their opener against these Rams. In fact, the 49ers, Ronnie, in their last 18 games, they've only won 2, and both of those have come against the Rams. 49ers getting ready to kick off. We hope to be talking with Jake Glazer, our NFL on Fox Insider. You see him on America's #1 pregame show. Want to get a realistic read on where the Rams are thinking about their next head coach and some thoughts on the 49ers situation as well. Phil Dawson kicking off. And Pharoh Cooper. Here comes a flag as he's brought down at the 22-yard line. Let's check the penalty.
Here in the return. Holding number 54, receiving team. It's a 10-yard penalty. It's first down.
That's Bryce Hager called for the infraction, so the Rams field position not good as the sun breaks through again. Overnight rain. The field conditions have held up well here. Field was covered. Spotted at the 12-yard line.
Always a challenging situation coming out of the half in a backed up situation. It really kind of changes your play calling. You look for direct runs, you look for quick passes out of the quarterback's hands. Let's see what this offense decides to attack this 49er defense with here to start this second half.
12th carry of the game for Todd Gurley. He's below his average, which wasn't very good to start with, of just over 3 yards a carry. Let's head down to the field and Jennifer.
Well, Chris, the mixing and matching may not be done along this offensive line for the 49ers. Joshua Garnett to the locker room before the half ended with a finger injury. Chip Kelly said he thought it couldn't get worse last week, but he might be wrong. Meanwhile, Kenny Britt on that kept him limited in practice earlier this week, really bothering him. But Coach Fossil tells me he's going to fight through it. Does not want to be taken out of this game, Chris.
Thank you very much. Second down, 7. Goff, 7 out of 13 so far. That's caught right at the 20 by Kendricks. Kendricks with his 3rd catch of the game, and he's the leading receiver for either team. That tells you something about how these teams just do not throw the ball in a passing league, not as efficient in throwing the ball as they could be.
No, they don't, not very well. And there's some things you expect out of Jared Goff because he's so young, but he absolutely fires this one in here. This is a good throw, great catch by his tight end, right between the numbers. Sets up a nice 3rd and short situation. See if they can convert here on 3rd down.
They only need a yard. Todd Gurley looks like he got it.
But just barely if he did.
And signaling first down for the Rams. Some of the numbers from the first half. Goff, the first overall pick, we mentioned, a pick the Rams acquired from Tennessee, traded 6 total picks to the Titans to move up from 15th to #1. Included in that group of draft choices, a 1st and a 3rd in the upcoming 2017 draft. Could be as high as a 5.
You know, you give away all those picks.
Ball start. Offense. Everyone but the center. 5 yards. Still first down.
Everyone but the center.
Everyone pretty much tells the story.
But you give away all those draft picks, I think, just talking to some people in the Rams organization, is because they really didn't believe that there was a quarterback in this year's draft, the upcoming draft. And so you know that you need a signal caller. You have some options in last year's draft. Obviously, the top 2 players were quarterbacks. So you make that pick to invest in your future, and I think it'll pay off for them. Jared Goff, I think, has a bright future here in L.A.
Mix up there, nothing in the area. Kenny Britt stopped. And on that Walt Anderson penalty of everybody but the center in violation.
Check, 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 all fouls. This is funny.
I'm sure everybody else said to Tim Barnes, the center, why don't you snap it, right? This isn't just your show. He's hung in there, the veteran from Missouri. make some of the lines calls up front for the rookie Goff.
Invaluable. Tim Barnes has been to this rookie quarterback. He makes a lot of the calls up front. And with all the shuffling that they've been trying to do on this unit, he's had to be the rock in there.
2nd and 15. Incomplete.
Rashard Robinson, nice play over the back of the tight end there. And that's a guy, when I talk to the 49ers, especially the defensive back guys, they think he can be a good football player for this team, but he hasn't been able to stay healthy. You know, he didn't play. It's his first time playing this year since 2014 when he was in college, but he's got some ability. He's long. He can run. He matched up on Kenny Britt right here. See how he handles himself here on this 3rd and long.
They need 15, a test for the rookie quarterback. 49ers drop safeties deep. It's a quick screen, and that goes nowhere. Tavon Austin, as Keith Reeser makes the defensive play, and there are flags down.
And Kenny Britt, again, with that shoulder, it's the 2nd or maybe even 3rd time, Chris, that I've seen him just fall to the ground with the pain, that injury.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 33, defense. It's a blow to the head, 15-yard penalty, 1st down.
Well, that would have been 4th down. This is a major penalty.
And it's on Rashard Robinson, who we were just talking about. Hands to the face. You tell he was trying to hit him in the shoulder pads, but he aimed high, connected high.
And Britt is hurting on the Rams sideline. And Britt's a physical receiver. He's 6'3" himself in his 8th year. But that'll give the Rams a new set of downs up around the 32-yard line that keep the drive alive. Todd Gurley to about the 35.
And nothing. Again, that running game, no matter where they've tried to run through the middle, they've tried to run stretch plays. No matter the case, they've got nothing going in this run, continue to have nothing going in this run game.
Let's check in with Jennifer on Kenny Britt.
Well, Chris, we mentioned it a moment ago, and you and Rondé are noticing it on the field. He has been fighting through this shoulder since about the 1st quarter. He puts heat on it every time he comes out of the game, and athletic trainers come try to rub it down, rub out that pain. The training staff tells me it's actually an injury that's been bothering him for weeks now.
Wildcat with Tavon Austin, the direct snap, who keeps, and the 49ers are ready for that. They'll go out of bounds. Rashard Robinson made sure Austin had nowhere to go.
Good play by Rashard Robinson here, and has to come inside a block. Makes a nice play to stretch that thing out to the sideline. And you know, this offense, again, stalling here somewhat since that early success in the 1st quarter, trying to find creative ways to get things going, but nothing seems to be grabbing right now.
They lost yardage, so it's 3rd and 12. That penalty bailed out this Ram offense. At the 31, they need to get to up to at least the 42 for a 1st down. Blitz batted down. 2nd time today at least. We've had a batted pass at the line of scrimmage. 49er defense on Goff. And Ahmad Brooks got to that one.
Well, Ahmad Brooks is doing a lot of things for this defense now. He played linebacker last week, the inside linebacker position with all those injuries, and gets a pass defense there, gets the 49ers off the field on defense.
With a liner that's going to bounce at the 30. Excellent kick. Rolls down around the 15-yard line with no chance of a return. A 53-yard punt from Hecker without the return.
Today's game is sponsored by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency.
Rodney Barber, Chris Myers from the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum. Sporting events have been held here since 1923. Kenny Britt with a shoulder injury, questionable for the rest of the game for the Rams. You saw that hit moments ago. 49ers take over, trailing by 7 from their own 15. Carlos Hyde spins around for a gain of just a couple. When Chip Kelly was brought in as the head coach of the 49ers, you figure, well, you're going to see a lot of creative offense. And usually it's been a second half problem. The first half wasn't all that dazzling either, but again, the limited playmakers, a roster he was given, a lack of a quarterback really going into the season with what he had to work with. It's been part of the 13-game losing skid. Hyde across the 21, ball comes out at the end, but they're ruling him down, and there's a penalty flag inside the 15.
Tripping, number 71, offense, half the distance to the goal, still second down.
John Theus, one of those reserve linemen having to play because of injury.
Yeah, John Theus playing right tackle top of your screen. And goes for the cut. Aaron Donald's too athletic, tries to leg whip him, jeez, and penalty. Backed him up even more, and that's one of the problems with this 49ers offense. They continue to shoot themselves in the foot, put themselves in bad situations, and now second and real long, Colin Kaepernick's going to have to complete some sort of pass here to get them back on schedule.
Second down 17 after the mark off of the penalty. Drone goes nowhere. Just across the 10-yard line, it'll bring up third down and long. Surprised we haven't seen Kaepernick run more by design in this game.
No, and there was a stat too, Chris, that I was made aware of before this game, that they only have 57 yards passing combined in the last 3 games on offense. That's
in the second half
of games. That's just pathetic. When you're trying to score points and you're down in games, not being able to complete passes is just unacceptable.
They've only run for 59 yards total today. 3rd and 15, Kaepernick underneath, Sean Drone. Across the 20, it'll be 4th down. Sun peeking through here at the Coliseum, and Pinion on to punt again. Just seems as if this offense is playing it safe or conservatively.
I feel like both offenses are playing it safe, and you know, one of these teams at the end of the day is going to have a W, and it's been so long since either one has won that you almost feel like they don't understand how to get it done. And I don't know if that's coaching, I don't know if that's players' belief, but one way or another, this team's got to get themselves in gear here and try to win this thing in the second half.
I mean, why not open it up, throw it downfield, have a little fun. Did see the Rams go for it on 4th down earlier in the game as Austin waves everybody away from the punt. Inside the 35 of the Rams, where they will take over on offense, protecting a 14-7 lead. Rondé Barber, Chris Myers, Jake Laser standing by from our Fox studios just down the freeway. NFL Insider, you see him on America's #1 pregame show. He'll help us out on some of the things you're hearing with the coaching search for the Rams and Chip Kelly's security in San Francisco. And questionable for the rest of the game, Kenny Britt. You saw him getting hit a few different times. Meanwhile, Rams with a 7-point lead from the 33-yard line on 1st down. Todd Gurley, 14 carries, just 41 yards. Jared Goff to throw. Nothing open except Austin Short for a gainer. Well, Jay, help us out. We've heard a lot of names, some ridiculous names. What's realistic for the Rams head coaching search?
Yeah, look, what's realistic is what I said last week. This vacancy, believe it or not, is probably the most coveted opening that there is in the NFL, despite what people may think about Jared Goff right now. Other coaches look at him as a legitimate prospect, somebody they think they can get going. You have Todd Gurley, a very good defense over there as well. And look, it's also the glitz and glamour out here in Hollywood. If you can win here, you're going to be a star for your ego as a coach, but also just your stock goes up as a coach, obviously.
And we can rule out, as Todd Gurley carries, rule out John Gruden. There was some rumor about Ron Rivera, somebody writing, even though he's under contract in Carolina. I mean, how realistic? Is it more likely the Rams will go for an assistant somewhere, a coordinator?
No, I think, look, there are definitely a lot of people reaching out to the Rams because of this opportunity. It's a phenomenal opportunity out here, like I said. But they're going to look at everything. They're going to look at the Josh McDaniels of the world, the Scott Linehans, those coordinators. They're going to look at big head coaches as well. again, because this is such a coveted job, a lot of different agents are reaching out. There's all sorts of feelers being put out there right now.
And assistants, you can clarify after this next play when certain coordinators can be interviewed if their team's on a bye week in the playoffs or once the season officially ends. On third down for Goff. Time in the pocket and incomplete.
Hey, Jay, Rondé, first of all, happy Glazmas.
Thank you, my friend.
I know you got your 44th birthday coming up the day after Christmas, but hey, tell me,
I think it's 34.
34, whatever he wants to believe it is. But tell me, is it necessary, do you think, that they're going to hire an offensive-minded coach here in LA?
No, I think they're just going to try, and that's where I think a lot of owners get it and GMs get it wrong. They just try and get, I'm going to go for an offensive-minded coach, defensive-minded coach. Get the right coach in there, and then they could bring the right coordinators in there. You want the coach that these players are just going to follow. Don't worry about whether their pedigrees on offense or defense.
Fair catch, Jeremy Curley. We're going to ask Jay to stay with us. Have to talk about the 49ers and some of the other hot candidates he mentioned already at Kyle Shanahan, Josh McDaniels, as we continue here at the 6:56 mark and a change of possession. Here comes the offense. So, Jay, are there any other names? I know Terrell Austin in Detroit, not an offensive-minded guy who's gotten a head coach. And what is the ruling, or the rule, I should say, on interviewing assistant coaches while their teams are in the playoffs?
Yeah, again, so sometimes this really goes on whether or not a coach wants to or not, but also whether a team has a bye. But like you said, Terrell Austin, he's a hot name as well. You mentioned Kyle Shanahan. Scott Linehan, watch his name down in Dallas. His name is starting to get brought up an awful lot as well.
He's been a head coach before. Scott Linehan, of course. First down, hand off to Carlos Hyde. How about Chip Kelly, who told us, hey, I'll never leave my team during the season. There's no college jobs. I'm not interested. I want to stay in the NFL. Is he secure here in San Francisco, although there may be some upheaval in other places?
Yeah, I do think Chip Kelly is secure there in San Francisco. Look, they understand the quarterback position. In order for Chip Kelly's offense to work, obviously, they need a quarterback. And look, they're now in line to possibly get the first pick in the draft. So, I think that this is not just going to be a one and done for Chip Kelly. No.
Ball is out. It comes out on the running attempt to Hyde, and it looks like San Francisco got it back.
Hey, Jay, you know a lot of these coaches, a lot of these assistants around the league. If you were making a decision, and I know you like to throw your hat in the ring sometimes, who would be the best pick here in LA?
Oh man, if I was making a decision, are you out of your mind right now? You're gonna put me on the spot like that?
I'm totally putting you on a food.
Look, I bring in a guy who can bring in the right coordinator to help out Jared Goff. But no, I'm not going to go with just somebody who specifically can help out Jared Goff at the head coaching position.
Kaepernick is out of the pocket and throwing, completing, but short, out of bounds actually. It is caught, but out of bounds. And so we'll continue this conversation. We can rule out the names like Sean Payton, Ron Rivera, Harbaugh,
I wouldn't rule out, potential names that somebody could trade for. No,
really? You think a trade could happen?
No, look, again, I just think that there's a lot of coaches out there who do want this job and, hey, who could push for it.
Way to avoid the question, Jay. Done like a true politician.
I'm not avoiding it and put it out there. I just don't like to be wrong. You know that.
I know that.
All right, happy holidays to you, Jay. Thanks for your time on this.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
He'll be following the story throughout the postseason on the NFL on Fox. Jay Glazer with us. You'll see him halftime, postgame, pregame throughout. Tavon Austin. Ball looks like it came out at the end. There's a scramble at the 42. Hyde got his own fumble back when the 49ers were running the football. And the Rams get it back here at the 5:20 mark of the third quarter. So what I took from that was not necessarily an offensive-minded coach, and maybe a guy who's a head coach somewhere who wants to rework his way to Los Angeles. Interesting.
Burger King. Now you can get 2 delicious Whopper meals for just $10 only at Burger King.
This season, Fox and the NFL celebrating football families. Amazing game day experience. We want to bring people together, and for this weekend, featuring the Guzman and Canales family, shared their football family story with us earlier today. Fred Canales, a lifelong Rams fan. His son, current U.S. Navy member Sal Guzman, attending their first ever Ram game. They got to get out on the field, see the truck, say hi to Rondé and I in the booth, and talk a little Ram history, LA Ram history. Malcolm Brown in the backfield. We're glad that they're here and wish them a great holiday. Pass behind Brian Quick. Quick, who has not caught a pass today and was a second-round draft pick, and now his 5th season, was supposed to be a rising receiver talent. That's an area the Rams need to draft and improve somehow, or sign somebody if they want to get better and help Goff, is get some receivers who can change a game.
I absolutely agree with you, and not only receivers but offensive line everywhere to help your quarterback. When you draft somebody that high, Jared Goff, you have to put bodies around him to help him. And right now, other than Kenny Britt, who's in the locker room injured, it's hard to see who that person is.
Tavon Austin, and the 49ers are waiting for him at the 40. That's not working. Jaquiski Tartt making the play.
Yeah, well sniffed out by Jaquiski Tartt. He's playing deep safety here, and he sees it all the way, comes down into the backfield. And Tavon Austin's such a shifty guy, but good job keeping his leverage, staying on the outside, turning it back to Gerald Hodges to make that tackle for loss.
Now 3rd down and 11. Malcolm Brown remains the running back. Goff is going to go down at the 31-yard line. DeForest Buckner, his 6th sack of the season.
And wait till you see this swim move by DeForest Buckner. Right here. Watch this move that he puts on Jamon Brown, right by him into the backfield. Jared Goff has absolutely no time. We talked about how good this guy is. You get a good example of it right there.
5 punts, for Johnny Hekker. He's averaging just under 50 yards a punt. He's punted the 2nd most times in the NFL this season. Bradley Pinion of the 49ers has punted the most. Tells you something about these two offenses. Stuck on 14-7 here on Christmas Eve.
Monday, we debate all of today's NFL action.
Skip, what do you want for Christmas?
Dak in the Super Bowl, not Romo. Undisputed, 9:30 Eastern, FS1.
Back at the Coliseum. Well, there's no disputing that guy's having a good time. From the 25-yard line. Kaepernick on 1st down and hits Rod Streeter for a 1st down up across the 40 of San Francisco.
This is a good throw by Colin Kaepernick here into the heart of cover 2, that underneath defense right here, and there's a bullet to the sideline in front of Cody Davis and the corner over there, E.J. Gaines.
Kaepernick 12 out of 17 with a touchdown and an interception, 117 yards passing. And here comes a flag and a whistle.
False start, number 61, offense. 5-yard penalty, still 1st down.
Boy, another penalty. And, you know, on that offensive line, Grundy, you always need synchronicity or cohesiveness with any unit, but it seems like offensive lines more than any to get the job done, and when they haven't been together, you get things like that.
Could not agree more. Zane Beadles having to play center, and Tiller in at left guard, and Garrett, who's back in the football game at right guard. Just nothing, no continuity on that unit, and it's struggling today.
Carlos Hyde shoved back inside the 35-yard line. So after a penalty and that, the 49er offense going the wrong way. Scoring recap, Carlos Hyde after an interception of a Goff pass in the end zone on the touchdown catch. Todd Gurley pushed his way in, and then Tavon Austin after an interception, a 30-yard touchdown run, his 8th career rushing touchdown and the longest run by any Ram this year. From the 35, 2-yard loss, 2nd down 17. Wide open, Jeremy Curley across the 47-yard line.
And the Rams defense will give them that completion on 2nd and long, but you know, this offense has a way at times just to disappear. You know, you talk about how much they're trying to run the football, and really to no avail. Nothing's happening up front. We talked about Carlos Hyde early in the game trying to get 1,000. Well, the yardage has gone backwards, so Colin Kaepernick's going to have to win this with his arm, I think, today. This defense is playing too well against the run.
Need to get to the 48 of the Rams on 3rd down. Protection. Kaepernick goes down. Aaron Donald, the Pro Bowler.
I want you to watch how much Aaron Donald works for this sack. And this was a long time coming. Colin Kaepernick is holding onto the football a little too long. The number 99 for the Rams is tough to deal with. And he gets a sack on Colin Kaepernick.
For an interior lineman to have 8 sacks already, very impressive. Got fined that $42,000 plus for the face mask and then throwing the flag in the previous game. But did the job there. Pinion, another punt. Austin waving everybody away, hits at the 20. He grabs it and falls between the 18 and 19-yard line. A 30-second timeout, and the Rams will come up on offense, leading by 7. At the 19-yard line after 14 first-quarter points from this Ram offense, nothing since. San Francisco just got their 1 touchdown, and the defenses have taken over. Todd Gurley. It was a hole that he could have maximized a lot more, but fell at the 24.
I mentioned you guys a second ago about Aaron Donald. Just watch how much he works here. Good block really initially by Tiller, but fighting through that and then just the hustle. The effort that you talk about from your great players has to show up, especially in games like this where you're essentially playing, I don't like saying pride because it's your job, but that guy gives it his all every single Sunday.
Possible if he had a team with a winning record, could be a defensive player of the year as Gurley carries, and that surge from offensive line members helped him get across for a first down to the 30-yard line as the third quarter winds down.
Well, that's the type of running you need out of this offense. When you're going to put yourself and just kind of run up against the back of your offensive line, those guys got to push. Good job by that front, giving some space for Todd Gurley to pick up that first down.
Well, after 21 total points in the opening quarter, nothing since, but the Rams may be on the move, trying to equal the score against the 49ers this year. An early Merry Christmas from us to you and yours. Happy Hanukkah as the Southern California style of Christmas rain overnight. The breeze kicking up and a good crowd. A lot of 49er fans here to renew the LA Ram 49er rivalry. Of course, they met to open the season. First time back at the Coliseum in quite some time. Todd Gurley, another short run. 13 consecutive possessions have ended in punts other than that first half kneel down. And Todd Gurley, you know, the Hollywood sign, you can clearly see it today. It's one of those days where the wind has blown the clouds through, and there are some that have said that Todd Gurley's a different runner than he was last year when he had 100-yard games to start. Hasn't had one this year.
Well, you move into this city, I mean, the adjustments obviously been hard on everybody, but this running game has just disappeared. I mean, he was Rookie of the Year last year over Jameis Winston, and it's just a shadow of that now.
Catches the football. Can he turn the corner? Runs into one player short of the 39-40-yard line. It'll bring a third down.
Well, he did a great job of making something out of nothing there. I mean, Gerald Hodges had him right in his grasp on the other side of the football field, but completely reverses field, picks up some nice yardage.
And Gerald Hodges, it looks like he's the injured 49er being tended to. Certainly hope he's okay.
Well, they're down so much at linebacker. It's hard to believe that they can have another injury here.
Let's get a game break. Check in with Kurt Menefee.
Well, it's an injury update as well. This is a bad one. Derek Carr, Raiders quarterback, taken down by Trent Cole, stays on the ground quite a while, grabs his ankle, had to be helped off, couldn't put any weight on it. Right now, Oakland's up 33-14, but the scoreboard's the last thing on their mind. That could be a big, big loss. Chris, Rondé Jen.
Yeah. Kurt, that's disturbing. The 2 seed currently in the AFC. Hodges being helped here. Marcus Mariota injured for Tennessee today. Their playoff hopes as they lost in Jacksonville.
And I think they've already decided on Mariota to put him out for the year. I think he fractured a bone in his ankle. But here we see Gerald Hodges getting off the football field, and it'll be important for him to come back into this game. I mean, they're down so many guys. And the only other active linebackers are guys that weren't even on the roster 3 days ago, in Carl Bradford and Wynton McManus. So we'll see who they have to put in here at linebacker. And you 49ers fans remember that last week, the safety, Antoine Bethea, went over to his coaches and said, hey, I can play linebacker. Just put me in there, because they were struggling so bad at the position.
And 6 defensive backs, so that's how they're going to have to play this. Tank Carradine is inactive today, Rondé. And yes, Mariota put on the injured list, so out for the remainder of the season. A fine year for the Titans despite the loss today. Texans in control of that division. 3rd down. Need to get to the 41 as we open the 4th quarter here. Protection, but Goff has to spin around and go down. And it's 4th down. Eli Harold with his 3rd sack of the year. I don't know if officially you can call it a sack. They'll say he may have gotten back to the line of scrimmage, and we have an injured Ram at the 30-yard line. Rob Havenstein, the right tackle. Physical wear and tear in this week 16.
You're going to see him get rolled up on here. I was just trying to find it. This is him right here. And just watch as this play continues to go on. It's Eli Harold, and I think it's that ankle that's bothering. But look at the hustle play by Eli Harold. He was the one that got up and made that sack. Good job by the linebacker. But you hate to see an offensive lineman go down here for the Rams. They're already down in numbers there as well. And Pace Murphy, who John Fossil, told us was going to get some snaps in at right tackle anyways, is going to have to come into the game here and play for Havenstein.
Cody Wickman inactive, so is Greg Robinson on that Ram offensive line. Andrew Donnell a starter, and we will see more of Pace Murphy. So here comes more of the punting show. Johnny Hecker standing inside the Ram 25. Jeremy Curley back to receive the punt. 49ers haven't had great field position. It looks like a fake. Now they could be trying to draw him off. Hecker will drop back into the punt formation. And he'll kick it away. A hesitant fair catch. I don't think he started to raise his hand. Now sometimes you can be penalized for that. There are no flags. That's what he's saying. He said, wait a minute. He partially put his arm up, and that's what he wants the officials to take a look at.
This game is sponsored by Samsung Pay. Turn your phone into your wallet.
Spotted at the 34. This is what John Fossil was hollering. This is kind of almost a fair catch signal.
Yeah, it's got to get above his head, though, and sometimes, I don't know that he was doing it on purpose, but sometimes you can get your cover guys to ease up by doing that.
Fake to Curley, throwing to Carlos Hyde. The ball is out, and that is a fumbled football. Morgan Fox has it for the Rams. He lets it go. E.J. Gaines knocked the ball out initially. And now they may be saying, hold on, we got an injured 49er back at the 33-yard line.
Well, the injured 49ers, Carlos Hyde on the completion. E.J. Gaines went low and took out his knee.
And they're debating on whether it was a completion or not. There was no signal right away that it was incomplete.
The ruling on the field was an incomplete pass. It's 2nd down.
All right, well, that was not a clear indication. That's Carlos Hyde. Gaines put the hit on him.
And it was a big hit, too. It's all about the bang-bang element of this. I thought that was a completion.
Yeah, there was no indication, Rondé, right away. The official usually calls that right away. Let's see if anything, as we were looking.
Well, the other aspect is that the ball.
The ruling on the field of an incomplete pass is being challenged by Los Angeles.
John Fossil will challenge. Ruled incomplete, questionable, debatable, challengeable. Ruled incomplete, but the Rams think it was a catch, fumble, and Ram recovery.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field is reversed. It is a catch and a fumble, and was recovered at the 25-yard line by Los Angeles. It'll be 1st down at the spot of recovery. Los Angeles is not charged with a timeout.
Gaines caused it on Hyde. Morgan Fox came up with it, and Ogletree, after he fumbled it, Rams got it back.
Yeah, see, I think he made a football move there by turning up the field with the ball in possession. You can see it right here. He's clearly has that thing tucked away, and the ball comes out on contact. So I believe they got that right.
Yeah, let's give Walt Anderson credit for overturning a play. They have tended to stay with the plays, the ruling on the field. But they did the right thing here. I'm sure Dean Blandino in his sweater back at the control office in New York was happy with that as Gurley carries. And he back to the line of scrimmage, tackled by Ahmad Brooks. Carlos Hyde was able to get up, Rondé, and head over to the sideline.
Well, it's another takeaway for this Rams defense. And saw early in the game when Cody Davis had the interception, they were able to capitalize and turn it into points. This game has been a stinker since that time. Haven't had any offense. You mentioned the number of punts. See if Jared Goff and his offense can take advantage of this opportunity and go in and score.
Hyde is headed to the locker room. Jennifer Hale reporting that. Hodges has come back in at linebacker for the Niners. 2nd and 10. Goff. And juggled it incomplete. He delivered it to Lance Kendricks. And there's a flag down.
Pass interference, number 33, defense. First down at the spot of the foul.
Rookie Rashad Robinson called for the penalty.
He's on the tight end here, and you can see just before the ball is in for completion, he touches the tight end Kendricks, and I think that's a good call. I tend to say let them play, but he hit him before the ball was there, affected his ability to catch the football, and so they get the penalty down inside the 10-yard line now.
And a little emotion from Jared Goff, looking for his first win as a professional. Every year he quarterbacked at Cal, the team got better, at least the record of the team got better and improved. Gurley, it's down to around the 6-yard line.
Well, if this team's looking to build into next season or whatnot, these are the types of situations that you have to take advantage of. Sudden change on offense in your own red area. Go in it and score a touchdown and set a tone. Talked about that early in the game. It really hasn't materialized since then. Let's see if they can do it now.
Good challenge by John Fossil, nicknamed Bones for obvious reasons, but he is an avid triathlete and hopes his team expresses that kind of energy. 2nd and goal, Gurley. He has 1 touchdown today.
Well, this will be interesting now for John Fossil, head coach here in the interim. What decision he makes. Does he try to get 7 points out of this and continue to set a tone for his offense like he has told us he was going to do before this football game? See if this is 2-down territory for the Rams.
I mean, I would think if you don't get it, you got to kick the field goal to create that 2-score difference, as aggressive as you'd like to be. But it's this call, Rondé. What about movement? He talked about Goff being able to move around in the pocket. He's very athletic.
I would like to see that. Get him on the edge, see if he can get a ball to his playmaker, add some space.
Paul McRoberts is in the game. End zone throw, touchdown Rams! Catch made, Tyler Higbee. The rookie from Western Kentucky, the roommate of Jared Goff throughout training camp.
Well, you talked about being aggressive. This is big boy throw by Jared Goff. You're going to look for a moment for him coming to his own. This is it. Nice play action, delivery of the football to Higbee. Nice conversion for a touchdown for the Rams.
5th touchdown of Jared Goff's professional career.
Just like how decisive he is with this throw. Watch this ball come out of his hands. He knows it's a tight window. He's got 2 defenders right there and just fires it into his tight end. You saw emotion from the sideline. You saw emotion from Jared Goff. Good job, Rams.
And the extra point by Zuerlein. He is good. Rams take advantage of the fumble and march into the end zone for head coach John Fossil. They have a 21-7 fourth quarter lead.
Sponsored by DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you gotta get DirecTV.
Tyler Higbee, first career touchdown.
And there he is. He's kind of behind. Look at all this traffic he has to go through to get to the end zone, and fights his way through, and then great ball by Jared Goff. What a cool picture that is.
A good view. 21 points, the most by the Rams at home this year in their return to Los Angeles and the Coliseum. A couple of years away from the new stadium. And Ja'Cory Shepherd, who had a 41-yard return last week, couldn't hold on, so it'll come out to the 25-yard line. Well, back to the rivalry, and during the decades of the 80s and 90s, the Niners would dominate here. San Francisco would win 30 out of the 41 head-to-head games over 2 decades with the Rams, including 17 in a row at one point. During that time, the 49ers won 13 NFC West titles and 5 Super Bowls.
Yeah, those were some good Niners teams, weren't they?
I mean, Joe Montana, Steve Young, Jerry Rice, I don't know that anybody could have stood toe-to-toe with them, but it's good to have the Ram 49er rivalry renewed no matter what the standings are or the records are. Just under 10.5 to play and a 14-point Ram lead. Kaepernick underneath. Sean Drone, looks like that's enough for a first down. Remember playing without Carlos Hyde, who went to the locker room.
Well, this is the situation the Niners have been in so many times this year. Down in football games in the fourth quarter, you got to get on your horse right now. Get down this field, score some points, or this game's going to be over.
Chip Kelly's team won the opener, had lost 13 in a row, was beating the Rams on Monday night up in Santa Clara. Garrett Selleck. Kaepernick has run just 3 times in this game. Carlos Hyde, 12 yards short of a 1,000-yard rushing season. As Drone carrying the load here. Stop short of the 40-yard line. It'll bring up third down for the 49ers. Let's check back in with Jennifer.
Well, Chris, Carlos Hyde is not going to reach that rushing mark today. He has now been ruled out of this game, and they've said it's a knee injury for him. So he'll have to try to chase that record, chase that mark next week.
49ers will finish their season at home against the Seahawks next Sunday. Third down and 6. Kaepernick's throw, wide open is Curley, and he's got a first down to the Ram 40. Came in as the leading receiver for this 49er team, a guy who was acquired in August in a trade. In fact, none of the receivers today, Ronnie, that are active, Chip Kelly was saying, were with his team in the off-season workouts.
Well, this was only the 4th third down conversion that they've completed. This is a really good route by Curley. Watch him go in, go out, and then the placement of the football is perfect right over Ogletree for that first down.
5 catches in each of the last 2 games for Curley. Dropped by Drone underneath. He has 3 catches today.
Well, where this urgency was before, I don't know. I mean, this second half of this football game has been a run fest, not even trying to get down the field. But back's against the wall now. You have to chase this football game. See if Colin Kaepernick has the ability to go down here and lead his team to some points.
I asked Chip Kelly any reason he'd bench Kaepernick in terms of, he said, other than injury. Christian Ponder, again, active as the backup quarterback. Blaine Gabbert inactive. Dwan Harris gets around the 25 for a 49er first down. We saw him light it up when they had injuries earlier in the year, when Carlos Hyde missed a couple of games because of a shoulder injury.
And he's a guy that is really just kind of a situational guy for them now. But, you know, Greg Williams loves to bring pressure. They bring it here. Nobody picks up Dwan Harris in the flat. Pick up the first down here. Good decision, quick decision there by Colin Kaepernick.
In fact, his only touchdown came on a 47-yard reception down the sideline. Harris remains in, the free agent from Troy. There's a flag down.
I know this is going to come back because of a hold.
Holding, number 68, offense, 10-yard penalty, still first down.
That's on Zane Beadles, playing center today, but has had to move around on all positions on the offensive line this year.
Yeah, this is him playing center right here, and you'll see the hold. And he's the guy that gives Dajuan Harris some space. I know we haven't seen a lot of Dajuan Harris, but he is an exciting runner. And this game goes on without Carlos Hyde in the game. Let's see if he's able to impact it at all.
First down and 20. Penalty pushes him back to the 35 of the Rams. Here comes a whistle. A no play. Another 49er
Prior
penalty.
to the snap, false start, number 77, offense. 5-yard penalty and still first down.
It's on Trent Brown.
Continues to shoot themselves in the foot. Right, inopportune penalties. They show up time and time again with this 49er, especially on offense. Have a good drive going, successive penalties. You go to 1st and 25 now. It's just hard for a play caller to come up with plays in these situations.
I mean, is this too early for 4-down territory?
I don't think so.
A quick dump off. Sean Drone, let's get a game break. Check in again with Kurt Menefee.
Well, that other matchup in the NFC West has turned into a good one, already having the division wrapped up. Seattle's been behind all day against Arizona. It's a little bit closer after the 42-yard touchdown pass from Russell Wilson to Doug Baldwin. They get a 2-point conversion, and it's a 3-point game. Chris, Rondé, and Jen.
Thanks, Kurt. Excited. Arizona, of course, Arizona will finish their season here against the Rams next Sunday. Seattle hoping for the 2 seed. The Lions playing the Cowboys Monday night. Dallas has the number 1 seed locked up in the NFC. Incomplete. Aaron throw. Now 3rd and 21.
You got to be able to make this completion. You get a pressure come in. There's a hot read between Colin Kaepernick and his receiver Curley. They're just nowhere near on the same page. And now you have a 3rd and forever. And mentioned earlier whether or not this is 4-down territory.
Not here, right?
I don't know now.
Unless you get a lot of it. Yeah, well, maybe if you get 10 or 15 of it back, depends on what they gain. Otherwise, you probably got to punt it away. Open, wide open, Curley. Could he put a move on? He does to get some yardage back to the 22, and now that makes it a more manageable 4th down. Need to get to just beyond the 15 or right around the 15 for a first down.
Well, you've got 1 win on the season. You're the San Francisco 49ers. You are definitely going for this. There's not even an inclination that anybody on special teams is coming to the sideline. Put it on Colin Kaepernick, see if he can make a throw here on 4th and 8.
Kaepernick's throw, first down, Rod Streeter.
And boy, did he make a good one there. Playing off coverage in the Rams secondary. He read it out from the get-go, knew where he was going with that ball, and puts a nice ball to Rod Streeter for that first down completion.
They needed 8, they got 10, and in striking distance from the 13. Jerron Ham is in the backfield, the tight end with Sean Drone. That's Chris Harper in motion. Kaepernick, pressure coming, he gets rid of it. Oh, and he had his tight end Selleck open for the score, but threw it into the turf.
Yeah, the pressure on him caused him to step up here and make a poor delivery. His feet weren't set at all, but you're right, Chris. He had Selleck in the flat. This could have been a touchdown. You see him, 88, sneaking through the defense there, and if he has just a second, takes just a second to make a better throw, that could have been another score.
Second down 10. Kaepernick end zone, overthrew Curley, who was open. He had room behind him.
Just a little more touch on that pass. It would have given Curley a chance to make this. Playing cover 2, Tampa 2. See, the middle linebacker has to run through the middle of the field. He knows this. Curley is in great position, but just can't climb the ladder there.
Interesting fans' point of view. And hairdo. 3rd and 10. Kaepernick can run. Kaepernick has a 49er touchdown. On 3rd and 10, he takes it into the end zone.
You always have to be wary of your rush lanes down in the red zone. Even unathletic quarterbacks become runners in the red area. But this guy, you give him that much space, he is going to gash you. And this was a smart decision by him. You'll see the gap on the right side of the offensive line open up. Got loads of room, acres of space in there. We know what he can do with the ball in his hands as a runner. He gets their much-needed touchdown here for the 49ers.
Against a defense that should have been aware on 3rd and long of Kaepernick's running ability. That's his 2nd rushing touchdown this year. Extra point by Dawson is good, and it's a 1-score game, a 7-point difference. The 49ers march 75 yards and get it into the end zone. What is the future of the quarterback position in San Francisco?
Who knows? I mean, he has the opportunity to be a free agent. He can opt out of his contract next year. I mean, he's played well at times. Again, we talked about his numbers in the first half compared to the second half of football games, but whoever's playing this quarterback in San Fran next year has to be able to throw the football down the football field. That's going to come with some more weapons on offense. This is an important draft, I think, for them, but we'll see. Trent Baalke and all these guys, or whoever's in control here, have some tough decisions to make on this roster.
And he's bringing it out. Pharoh Cooper 4 yards deep in the end zone. Surging his way, had a strong return earlier and an outstanding return to get up near the 30-yard line. A 34-yard return. On Christmas Eve, if you think about memorable Christmas Eve games, remember 1977 Raiders and Colts, AFC playoffs. Dave Casper, his famous ghost to the post, a game-tying field goal, and in double overtime, the Snake, Kenny Stabler to Casper, game-winning touchdown. Raiders win 37-31. John Madden, coach of the Raiders there, and wishing him a Merry Christmas. The Hall of Famer, broadcaster and coach, done a lot for the NFL and those who broadcasted. From the 30-yard line, Rams now have to be careful under 5 minutes to go. Todd Gurley, who just hasn't broken anything all day.
Well, you're going to see a 49er defense now. They're just going to stack the box. They're going to say, if you're going to try to win this here, you're going to have to let Jared Goff drop back and throw the football. This is a defense that's given up, 170 yards per game or whatever it is, and today they've held...
You mean on the ground?
On the ground, yeah. They've held them to under 100, so good job by this 49ers defense. They need to stop here. Get the ball back, let Colin Kaepernick and that offense get on the field and see if we can get a tight game.
And if you're the Rams, you can't play it safe here. You draft a quarterback #1 for a reason. If Gurley can't get you the yards, then let him throw it downfield. There's Gurley, and he's not going to get you the yards. It's going to be 3rd down. Let's get a game break. Check in with Kurt.
All right, look, New Orleans mathematically still alive, but Tampa has to win this game for their playoff hopes. They're doing their best. Jameis Winston, 34 yards to Mike Evans. Right now, it's 31-21, but Tampa is inside the 20-yard line. If this holds up, Atlanta, though, will clinch the NFC South, so Tampa has to come back and win it. Chris?
All right, thank you, Kurt.
Totally agree with you about this Rams offense. Let Jared Goff come into his own right now. Let him throw the ball, complete, get a first down, and make a statement. I keep talking about statements for this Rams team, especially this offense. Jared Goff's your future. See what he has right now.
3rd and 5. And they're letting Goff throw it. There's a flag down, and Goff goes down. Flag down right away as Ronald Blair gets the sack.
Illegal shift, number 8 and 83, offense. That penalty is declined. It's 4th down.
You know, Rhonda, you could see the confusion pre-snap when they had 3 receivers to the right of Goff shuffling.
Well, Jared Goff was trying to throw a quick out on the other side of the field. This is the mess up top. This is 2 guys moving. But watch him try to get this ball to 83. Brian Quick at the bottom of the field. We'll come back to it. But that's who took it away, and that's what allowed the 49ers to get that sack there, Ronald Blair.
Johnny Hecker, Curley to the 26-yard line. where with 3:10 and all 3 timeouts, we saw the 49ers march 75 yards last time to get into the end zone. They're going to try and do it again, no doubt. So how do you play it if you're the Ram defense? Do you gamble and blitz a little bit? Do you give them a little cushion knowing they need a touchdown?
Well, all I want for Christmas is a good finish here. So come on, 49ers. But yeah, I think this Rams defense will go blitz heavy. They have 7 points to play with. We know the personality of their play caller on defense, Greg Williams. He's going to try to get after Colin Kaepernick, force him into bad decisions, but we'll have to see.
He made the right decision, scoring on a 3rd down touchdown run to get the 49ers to 14 points. We'll also have the 2-minute warning, of course. And Drone remains the back. He's a very good receiver. 49ers moved.
False start, number 71, offense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Well, again, just continue to make it hard on themselves. You'll see John Theus, false start, putting them back at 1st and 15. I mean, the last 2 drives, it's nothing that the Rams have done to hurt them, even though they overcame it on that last drive. They can overcome it here.
10th penalty accepted on the 49ers. Room to run, but Drone on the flip pass. He's the leading receiver in this game with his 6th catch.
That is some swarming defense of the Rams there. This unit on this side, you talk about the Rams, it's all about defense here. They're up against the wall here against Colin Kaepernick. Let's see what they can do.
Jeremy Curley has been the best receiver for the 49er team. And there's Selleck falling for the first down at the 39-yard line. An excellent throw.
Well, those issues that this offense and Kaepernick had in the second half have resolved themselves here. That was a fantastic throw to Garrett Selleck underneath to get that first down.
A 12-yard pickup. Caught up and trying to run with it is Streeter. Let's see if they give him the first down. They're going to mark that. And it is a first down. He caught it, went to the ground, got up and surged for another couple of yards from midfield. Will they get the snap off before the 2-minute warning? Yes. Kaepernick in between and a tough hit. Here comes a flag. Pass is incomplete. Curley was the target. Cody Davis delivering the shot.
Defenseless receiver. Went to the head and neck area of a receiver in possession.
I don't know, did he lead with the crown of the helmet? We'll have a closer look at it, the pass.
The ruling on the field is an incomplete pass. After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 38, defense, 15-yard penalty, first down.
Cody Davis, who had an interception in the first half of this game. We'll take another look at this as we go to the 2-minute warning. I don't know, maybe that looked worse than it was, but the penalty helps the 49ers. Could not have been a penalty.
Well, here's Jeremy Curley coming out of his route. You'll see Cody Davis coming in from the left. And to me, this is shoulder to shoulder. With the benefit of replay, we can see it. Tough to call for those officials to make, but I think they got away with one there.
First down, 49ers. Kaepernick slips through and then falls down at the 35-yard line. Blake Countess came in from the secondary to make sure Kaepernick wasn't roaming the field.
And as true to form, Greg Williams calls a blitz, and you'll see Countess sneak into your screen right here, make the quarterback step up, but then fight for that extra little bit, catches the shoestring of Kaepernick and gets a sack.
All 3 timeouts for the 49ers, under a minute and a half to play. Kaepernick slings it to Curley to the 25. Should be good enough for the first down.
Jeremy Curley is coming on strong here in this fourth quarter.
Timeout 49ers.
That was a very nice throw to Curley, but the way he turned his shoulders and got upfield real quick gave him that first down.
All right, but who should the Rams put on him? He's really the most reliable receiver.
Well, it's interesting because even though the Rams are showing some blitz packages. They're playing zone coverage behind it, so there's really nobody you want to put there because you don't want to go into man-to-man situations and make an easy throw for Colin Kaepernick. So trying to keep everything in front of them right now, Chris.
Small screen, stadium-sized content, as you saw. Watch live local Sunday games on your smartphone with NFL Mobile. And it's a third down here is what we have, and 1 inches, closer than 1, but 4 down territory. Chip Kelly hollering out the plays for his quarterback. Sean Drone for the first down. You know, the Rams defense, they've been in this situation before, Rondé, at home. They held on against Seattle to win here. Their defense made a game-stopping play at the end with Ogletree, but against the Dolphins, they could not. Miami rallied. Again, catch made by Curley.
What you're noticing is the rhythm that Colin Kaepernick has gotten into as a thrower right now, making decisive throws, moving this team down the field. And I agree, Chris, this Rams defense is playing a little soft for him.
Kaepernick complete to the 10. Rod Streeter. Timeout, 49ers, 36 seconds to play. That's a 1st and goal for the 49ers. Marching downfield, the aid of a penalty. But when they needed the clutch catch or throw, they got it against this Ram defense.
Well, there's urgency right now. You feel it just in the stadium. The angst of the Rams crowd wanting this defense to get a stop, but you feel the momentum of this 49ers offense as they drive here now almost inside the 10-yard line for a tying score. And this is where you're going to find out a lot about your team. The leadership on this 49ers team. Who has it? Who's going to step up and make a play? It's a question I ask about this team all the time. Who's going to make a play? Right now, to me, it's been Jeremy Curley who's been the guy.
And on the Ram defense, will it be Aaron Donald or someone from the secondary? Play clock running down. Throw, catch made. Rod Streeter has a 49er touchdown. Right in the heart of the defense. And it looks like the 49ers, with 31 seconds left, are considering going for 2.
They are going for 2. Their kicker is not on. So that's a nice little slant route by Rod Streeter, playing only because Torrey Smith is on IR. Makes a nice catch after a really good throw by Kaepernick. And you're going to see a 2-point opportunity here for the 49ers.
And a booth review to make sure all scoring plays, you want them confirmed. If the defense is supposed to be the backbone of your team, that was a poor display with the game on the line. They march downfield.
Well, they got one more opportunity. Going for 2. Now's the time for all these talented guys on this Rams defense. We talk about them all the time. Aaron Donald, Alec Ogletree, Mark Barron, all these great defenders. One of them's got to make a play and win this game for your team. And from that picture, we really can't see where his knee is down. I think you're looking at his left knee, and from that one, it looked like he was in the end zone. His knee was in the end zone.
And the ball, I think, crosses the plane.
Yeah, see, his knee doesn't touch there. His knee touches right inside of the...
But we can't see the
on
ball
the 1-yard line or
from that
1-inch line, but we can't see the ball there. I don't think there's enough to overturn here.
Maybe we can tell here. You see the football.
You just can't. There's not a congruent picture of the knee and the ball. From that side, it looks like it's a touchdown. From the other side, it looks like it's short. The ruling on the field, as you call it, was a touchdown. I believe it will probably stay.
Yeah, the way that knee, it was up enough. Officials right there to make the ruling. But what do you like? What do you think going for 2?
Why not? Got one win on the year.
And that win came against this team. Blaine Gabbert was the quarterback to open the season when the 49ers beat the Rams. They haven't won since. Streeter to the end zone, ruled a touchdown.
No, we're good. After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field stands. Touchdown.
Well, as we just mentioned, rubber's hitting the road right now for this Rams defense. They want to win. They need a stop right here on this 2-point conversion opportunity. And again, our goalpost cam gives a great shot. That was clearly a touchdown.
So the 49ers rolling the dice with Chip Kelly. 2-point conversion for the lead with 31 seconds left.
Always be wary of Colin Kaepernick as a runner in this situation.
That's how they scored their second touchdown when he ran it in. Kaepernick rolling, running, and in for the 2-point conversion.
Seen this numerous times with the 49ers. Get your athletic quarterback on the edge. It's a run-pass option. He can throw it. He can run with it. He decides to run and gets their 2-point conversion. And flags flying all over the place. Unsportsmanlike conduct. Colin Kaepernick is running down the Rams sideline.
And that's where the penalty comes from. That's big, because if that is a penalty, and the 15 yards, the Rams with a field goal could win this game if it's against the 49ers.
Well, here's the 2-point conversion here.
The ruling on the field, the try's good. After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, Tony, number 68, San Francisco, pushing the football in the face of an opponent. That 15-yard penalty will be enforced on the kickoff. This will be number 68's first unsportsmanlike foul.
That's on Zane Beadles, the center, as Kaepernick fooled the Rams, hesitating as if he was going to throw, and then ran it in.
Well, that's just heartbreaking for the Rams. He played so well on defense today and give up back-to-back drives for scores and a 2-point conversion. You mentioned it, Chris. We saw it happen in that LA-Miami game earlier in the year, and again, they aren't able to stand up when it matters and get a stop. And unless their quarterback can walk down this field and get them in field goal range, they're going to lose another heartbreaker.
Clock doesn't run on a conversion, so 31 seconds do remain. Rams have all 3 timeouts, but let's see when they mark off the penalty here. And remember, there was that controversial penalty against the Ram defense that hurt them in that drive by the 49ers, similar to the Dolphin loss. They had some foolish defensive penalties that allowed the Dolphins to march downfield earlier in the season when Miami rallied to win here at the Coliseum. And the call is on Beadles in the face of the opponent. I think it was actually it was 65. Beadles was there talking, but Joshua Garnett, the rookie from Stanford.
I'm not sure that he was trying to put it in his face or give the ball to Kaepernick, but either way, they are backed up to the 20, now kicking off to the Rams. No, he was putting it in his face. He's gonna play innocent. That's just a bad penalty, and we've seen numerous penalties on this 49ers team today. That one could be crucial.
Kicking off from the 20-yard line. Now we have a timeout here. 49ers use the timeout. Rams have all 3. Bonus coverage coming up. NFC West winners, Seattle at home against the Cardinals. Arizona will finish the season here against the Rams next Sunday. The Saints defeated Tampa Bay. The Saints were eliminated earlier because of other teams winning in the NFC playoff picture. The Bucs hurt their chances to move in on a wild card, and Atlanta in the NFC South locks up a playoff spot.
You know, we've been pushing this rivalry mantra all day today. It's still alive, isn't it? Even though these are 2 bad football teams, it came alive today. This has turned into a very good football game in this 4th quarter.
A combined 45 points. And after a slow second and third quarter, it heated up. But the Rams had 43 combined points. But the Rams had a 14-point lead. And the 49ers rallied in the 4th quarter. Pharoh Cooper, who's had a couple of good returns today. Clock runs. That's as much a story here as he gets to the 43 of the Rams. 27 seconds left. Greg Zuerlein, his career long 61 yards. That was last year. And that red line shows you where this Ram offense has to get to give him that chance. He's made 54 this year. That's his long this season.
Very reliable kicker in a very strong leg, as evidenced by that 61-yarder. I think he could be good from even farther than that.
And he did make a 60-yard field goal in pregame warm-ups. There is a bit of a breeze again, shifting through the Coliseum. It's up to Goff. Throws low, catch, no. Brian Quick fell to the ground.
Low throw,
incomplete.
But it's got to be a completion. You got 3 timeouts. It's okay if you catch the ball in bounds here. And Jared Goff told us these are his favorite throws. These outs. That one's a little low, but
should have been caught.
Should have caught it for sure.
(22-21) 49ers. 21 seconds left. Protection, throw, and it's intercepted by Rashad Robinson. And the 49ers sideline erupting with joy.
Well, this is a heck of a catch. Heck of an interception by Rashad Robinson.
He read Goff all the way.
He read it well the entire way. He's just playing off coverage out here again. He's trying to get a little circus route, it's a little out route from his receiver, but the corner was in perfect position and ends this game with an interception. Been talking about Rashad Robinson all day. They love this kid, and that is a big time play, young boy. That is a nice catch, and they need turnovers. They get a big one to seal this thing.
Not exactly the best run route by Brian Quick.
More so an ill-advised throw in my mind. He did not have to force that football in that situation. You have timeouts. All you need is completions, and the Rams find a way to lose another game here at home.
Going to get a timeout from the Rams.
Los Angeles, 30-second timeout.
You know, Jared Goff told us his best Christmas present, he's only 22 years old, best Christmas present was a red BMX bike with pegs when he was 9 years old. I think he would have liked a win as a Ram, as an NFL quarterback, as a Christmas present this time around.
Absolutely, he would have. And I'll just look towards the middle of this game where it got really slow, and the offense that started off so aggressive just kind of went into a shell. It wasn't until they got another turnover that they actually went in and scored. And then this defense, again, let them down at the end of a football game. And you just got to feel bad for this team.
Rivalry renewed, and the 49ers back at the Coliseum with a win. Rashad Robinson, the rookie, with an interception of Jared Goff, the Ram rookie and the first overall pick in the NFL draft. Today's game, a Mike Burks production directed by Michael Frank, our technical producer Tom Lynch, technical director Ernest Bauer, audio mixer Kevin McCloskey, broadcast associate Cody Novak, associate director Tavis Strand, Mark Sosna, Rick Odiosa, James Petralka helping us in the booth with statistics and research information. Also want to thank Chip Weaver, helps us audio-wise up here. Don Vermillion, Pat Caballero, Rob Levy, Lisa Hanson, cameramen like Buzz Schwing and Eric Norberg to mention, Bill Anderson. Away from Nurse John Shevsinski, zeroing in. He wanted to hear his name, otherwise he'll move the camera off of us. That's how it works in the business. But we appreciate and all these guys far from their home, having to come out west to Southern California, trying to hustle back for Santa to be there just in time for Christmas Day.
We know you get to go up the street with 3 of your partners.
I got to leave now to beat the traffic.
Yeah, 3 of your partners in the booth are heading back east on a red eye. So much appreciation to everybody in our broadcast crew that gave away their Christmas Eve to come watch this great football game and broadcast to you guys.
This will end the 49ers' 13-game winning streak. Began with a Ram win. It'll be snapped with a Ram win during the course of this season. And the Rams, who come in at 4-10, will fall to 4-11. At one time, the Rams were 3-1. The OT presented by Lowe's coming up. You may see, depending upon the length of that game, bonus coverage in Seattle from the Cardinals and the Seahawks. And interesting, with the timeouts all used, the reason John Fassel didn't just let the clock run out, Rams used all their timeouts. Now it's 4th down. So do the Niners run a play or kick it away?
7 seconds.
Change of possession.
Yeah, 7 seconds. You can. If you're hoping for a return, but there's no return man back here.
So the Rams are going to let it roll. Yeah. No one deep for the Rams. You can see no punt returner.
There'll be a punt and then a miracle type play, but the covered guys for the 49ers do not touch this football after it's punted.
Bradley Pinion just got it out there. And it goes
out of bounds.
And the clock shows 0. And the 49ers come back to the Coliseum. San Francisco, the Grinch that stole Christmas, from Jared Goff and the Rams. For Rondé Barber, I'm Chris Myers.